Well, hello, everybody. My name is Nathaniel J. Carrasco. I'm the founder of Sky Media Ventures. Have the absolute pleasure in getting to speak with one of our great clients, Jarett. Jarett is the owner of Advantage Pools Bay Area. Him and his father run the show. Jarett, great. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Jarett, just for the people watching this, tell us a little bit about yourself and what your company does, just in a quick nutshell.
Yeah, so we're a residential pool contractor based in the Bay Area, California, more of the East Bay Area. We have 20 years experience. I've had early experience in construction, at a young age, being surrounded by it, and multiple uncles and stuff that work in construction.
Nice.
My dad had founded this company. The first pool he ever built was actually in the 80s, the early 80s. So he's had experience doing it and, running under Advantage Pools full time. Had around 20 years experience doing this. I've worked here the last, I'd say, 9 or so years. So I've had quite a amount of experience in the pool industry, quite an amount of knowledge in the pool industry.
Pool
Um,
buildings in your blood, brother.
yeah, for sure.
That's
For
awesome.
sure.
Well, hey,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that. Before working with Sky Media Ventures, and we've really been working with each other for I would say like 90, 100 days, which is insane because so much has happened. But before
Yeah.
working with us, what kind of marketing were you guys doing? What was your like? What challenges did you guys face with like generating consistent business? Maybe with another marketing firm or something.
Yeah, for sure. So, before I kind of got involved, my dad's, he's been doing this a long time. He's really old school.
Hmm.
So we didn't really have much of an online presence. And then when I started to get involved, I reached out to people. I got us a logo made. I got us, a website made, kind of networked with people in the online space to kind of present an online presence. And then I started to kind of research and get into the marketing side of it, which I haven't had any previous experience in marketing. So, it was kind of trial and error, seeing what works. We ran Yelp ads a lot, and we kind of built up our Yelp. We have a good amount of reviews on Yelp. And the thing about Yelp is, we were paying for advertisements, but a lot of people go to Yelp to check reviews.
Hmm.
A lot of people don't do searching on there. They'll see a company on Google and then they'll go to Yelp and see how reputable it is, or whatever. So I've dealt with a handful of different marketing agencies, and none of them were really working. It just seemed like we were paying monthly, and we would get a lot of communication in the beginning. They would say, we're going to do this for you, we're going to do that for you, we're going to build up your Google business profile, all this stuff, and then months would go by, weeks would go by, and payments would keep reoccurring, and unless we reached out to them, we wouldn't hear a word. And so it got to the point where we were going through different people, and we were just kind of throwing money down the drain. Um, and then something needed to change. So after that point, I started to take on the marketing by myself and was running search campaigns, and it got really expensive. We were running cost per click, and it just wasn't working out.
Yeah, the pay per click.
Yeah, pay per click. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So, you know what? A lot of pool builders might feel you. They might have felt the same way. Since partnering with us, how would you describe your experience the last 3.5 months, working with Sky Media Ventures?
Amazing. I think right off the bat, the greatest quality I would say with working with you guys is just the communication. Like every single step of the way has been transparent and communicated to us. There's certain things that I don't catch. I don't even catch. We're on the job sites, we're busy, we're doing stuff, and either you or your team will reach out to us and say, hey, this happened, a lead came in, here's a spreadsheet of people who are interested. Last month, it's different steps we can take to move forward. We'll get calls come in that we'll miss. We're not always available to pick up calls, but with the AI, it helps because we're
Oh,
able to get information from
yeah.
that.
Jarett, some of our builders aren't using the AI and some of them are. So some of them are using that same lead gen system. How has the AI been just real quickly for you, like the 24/7 answering service?
Just to say how good it's been, we had a lady actually call for a new build, and we weren't able. We were both busy. I think my dad was in a meeting. I was on a job site, couldn't answer. Called her back later, and she did not know whether it was a real person or not. She thought
Wow.
she was talking to an actual employee. And it's funny because she was a business owner herself, and she had an AI service that she ran for her phone calls. And she was amazed at how well it spoke and how it gathered all the necessary information. And with that, I mean, with the text notifications and the email notifications, I mean, we're able to crack down on leads, whether we miss them or we pick up the phone. I mean, it's nice to have an organized structure of everything coming in. It's the most
Yeah.
important.
I appreciate you saying that. One thing that if there's any pool builder or any business owner watching this video, the AI really helps for you guys capturing leads after hours and then on weekends and then running your ads 24/7. So I think if people understand those three components, that could be a huge game changer. Would you agree?
Oh, 100%. And the one thing people don't realize too is depending on where you're at, we oftentimes, I mean, people work during the week, so oftentimes, when people have the free time to look up pool builders or look up services that they want done, it's often on the weekend because that's when they're home, when they're relaxing, when they have the time to hey, we want a pool, let's look into this. I'm off work today, let's do some research. And us being able to run those ads 24/7 with the help of the AI system allows us to be number one on the search advertisements around our area for when people look up for new pool builds, just because no one else is running the 24/7. They're showing closed on the weekends. And when people have that free time to look up, do research on a new pool, we're right up there at the top. And I would say that actually is one of our biggest strengths with the services is when everyone else is offline or closed, we're open and we're answering phone calls. And so people who are sitting at home, researching for new pool builds, they're calling our phones.
Yeah, your guys' ads do extremely well. So I'm very glad that every time I'm looking for contractors in Brentwood pool builders, Advantage Pools, and I'm just every time I see it, I'm like, wow, that's really good.
Yeah, for sure.
Question. We're going to wrap up just a few more questions. Roughly, how many pool builds? I know we've went through the numbers before doing this recording, but just so you could tell the audience and people watching, since starting with us 3.5 months ago, how many custom pool builds have you guys signed looking to actually build people's pools?
So given the last update, I mean, you give us updates all the time with, our leads coming in. Since October 6th, given that it's no, yeah, since the most recent spreadsheet given, we've had 6 out of the 11 leads that were reputable leads, meaning they wanted new builds. 6 out of those 11 we have signed and started construction for.
Wow,
So
that's
yeah,
amazing. Would you say
it's
that's over about $350,000 in revenue?
oh yeah, definitely. We
Wow.
easily. And the craziest part about it is too. I mean, I believe we started together in July. I would want to say, and
Yeah, middle of July. Yeah, middle of July.
a lot of the pools we're wrapping up with, and or in the midst of finishing, we're also from Google service ads. So I would say well over 6, maybe closer to 10, since we've just been working the last 100 days. We've probably secured more closer to 10 jobs, I would say.
Dude, that is insane. That's you guys are thank you for giving us a shot with doing the 24/7 AI. A lot of other companies do the lead gen, but when you add that 24/7 AI answering, I mean, dude, we've had clients get calls at 9 p.m. at night and then the contractor call them that next Monday and then that homeowner is sending them that first wire, but initially that lead came in at 9 p.m. Like
Oh
if their ads didn't run at 9 p.m., they would have went to another competitor,
Yep.
So
If you're not doing the AI leads, you're missing out, or the AI service, you're missing out because you can really multiply how many leads are coming in. And for us, I think the most important point for us is we're very confident in that we can sell the pools. We can get the pools. People trust us. We have a really good reputation in our area. We know the industry very well. And before we did any of the marketing, all of our work was referrals, and we do average 3 million gross a year off referral jobs. I mean, and that just stands to the point of quality. I mean, we prioritize quality work and we prioritize trusting our customers and having trust in us. And we get calls from clients 5 years ago saying, hey, Merry Christmas, happy birthday. We do favors for them. They have a pool light out. We help them. I mean, we build friendships and relationships with people, and that's important to us. And to think, from going from referrals to now doing local service ads, I mean, we've done probably we're going to do 10 to 15 more pools on top of what we've already done this year, just within the 100 days. So it's awesome.
Jarett, I have two questions for you. I'm excited to ask you the very last question, but the second to last, if there's a pool builder or a contractor, a dentist office, some type of business owner, we've made contact. One of my reps did, maybe I did, and letting them know, hey, we could work with them. What would you tell them right now if they're watching this video and there's like, hey, Jarett, this crazy guy named Nathaniel reached out to us. What would you say, being a client with us?
I would say you're going to regret not working with Sky Media Ventures for sure. For
Wow.
sure. If you want leads coming in, give them a chance. Give them a shot. Let the results prove themselves is what I'll say.
That's awesome. Very, very last question. And I think I know the answer to this if you don't say, but what's next for Advantage Pools?
Expanding from here, going up, getting more phone calls, keeping the phone calls coming in. I mean, I was joking with you earlier before we had this meeting, and it was, now we're running into the problem where we have too much work. Where we're like, how are we going to keep up with all these jobs coming in? We get a call a day, a call every 2 days of people wanting a new construction build and, being local. And, we set up appointments with them and meet, and it's like, holy crap, how are we going to keep up with this many jobs? So I think from here on out, now it's time to expand and dial in the system.
And you know what, Jarett? My personal goal for you guys, I want you guys to have your best year in revenue in 2026. I think it's possible for you guys to hit record numbers in 2026. So I'm glad that we're partnered with you. I'm glad that we ended 2025. We're not even ended yet, but we're ending 2025 on a strong note. But for 2026, I've told you this before. I want you guys to do your most builds in 2026, and I want our firm to be a big reason. We can bring the horse to water, but we can't make him drink. So, like,
Right.
you could get the calls, but it takes your father, it takes you to actually build that rapport with the homeowner. So we're just a cog in that mechanism to help you. But hey, we're a big cog for you guys. So, I'm looking forward to doing that. But Jarett, that's it for the video. I don't want to make it too long. Is there any last things you want to say before we conclude?
Thank you for having me on. It's been great working with you and the team, and nothing but good things to say. It's been great results.
Okay, cool. All right, Jarett, I'll see you later.
See ya.